Imagine that within you there is a hidden power, a latent energy that has always been there, waiting to be awakened. It's not something external. It's not a gift reserved for a chosen few. It's yours by divine right. A force that vibrates in every thought, in every emotion, in every intention you radiate. But here's the fundamental question. Are you harnessing that power, or are you just letting it flow unchecked, wasting your infinite potential? In the next few minutes, I'll take you on a deep journey through the mysteries of inner energy. You'll uncover hidden truths about vibration, frequency, and manifestation that have been passed down by wise ones throughout history. We'll reveal how your mind and spirit can influence reality in ways you may have never imagined. And most importantly, at the end of this path, I'll share with you the ultimate key, the most powerful knowledge of all, which will completely change the way you understand your own energy and the world around you. Since time immemorial, the deepest spiritual traditions have taught that human beings possess extraordinary capabilities. We're not talking about fantasy superpowers, but natural abilities that have been forgotten or suppressed by the way our society has evolved. What you're about to discover is a return to that ancient wisdom, but with a modern and practical understanding. It is true, without falsehood, certain and very true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to perform the miracles of the one thing. Thoth, known in ancient Egypt as the god of wisdom, writing, and magic, was much more than a simple mythological deity. To those initiated in the Egyptian mysteries, Thoth represented the embodiment of cosmic intelligence, the architect of the universal laws that govern all existence. The Greeks later identified him as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, recognizing his triple mastery over the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. He is credited with the authorship of the famous Emerald Tablet, not several tablets as has been mistakenly popularized, but a single document containing the essence of Hermetic wisdom. The Emerald Tablet begins with the phrase, "It is true, without falsehood, certain and very true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to perform the miracles of the one thing." This is the original formulation of the principle of correspondence, which teaches us that the same patterns repeat at all levels of existence. This knowledge wasn't openly shared. It was passed down only to those initiates who showed they were ready to receive it, because its power, when misused, could harm both the practitioner and others. Today, we are in a unique moment in human history where this knowledge is re-emerging for those who are prepared to use it with wisdom and responsibility. The Emerald Tablet wasn't just a philosophical text, it was a practical manual for manifestation. Every line contained precise instructions on how to align human consciousness with the creative forces of the universe. When properly understood and applied, it allowed the initiate to manifest like the gods themselves, not through some supernatural power, but through the understanding and application of the natural laws that govern reality. You are not separate from divine power. You are an individualized expression of it. This understanding is the first step to manifesting like the ancient gods. It's not about worshipping external forces, but about recognizing and awakening the divine that already exists within you. The mental universe and the power of thought. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This is the first of the 7 Hermetic principles presented in the Kybalion, a text that synthesizes the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. What does this mean in practice? It means that the reality we experience isn't solid and unchangeable as it seems, but rather malleable and responsive to the power of thought. Modern science is beginning to confirm what the ancients already knew. Quantum physics shows us that, at the subatomic level, matter behaves more like a wave of probabilities than solid particles. And the most surprising part, these probabilities are influenced by the observer. In other words, consciousness affects physical reality. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not just internal subjective experiences. They are real, energetic forces that generate a specific vibration. This vibration interacts with the quantum field, attracting experiences that resonate with it. That's why people with similar mindsets tend to attract similar circumstances, regardless of their external conditions. Thoth taught that the mind rules over matter, not as an abstract concept, but as an operational law of the universe. When you truly understand this principle, you realize you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. Your current reality is the accumulated result of your predominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs over time. The temples of ancient Egypt were designed as true machines for consciousness transformation. Every aspect of their architecture, from the mathematical proportions to the symbols on the walls, was meticulously calculated to induce specific states of consciousness in the initiates. As the adept walked through these temples, they underwent a symbolic journey representing the evolution of consciousness, from the ordinary state to union with the divine. In the innermost chambers of these temples, initiates learned to master the power of thought. It wasn't just about positive thinking, but a rigorous training to keep the mind focused and aligned with the desired intention, regardless of external circumstances. This is the same power you can access today, when you learn to direct your mind consciously and with discipline. If we all possess this innate power, why do so few manifest it in their lives? The answer lies in the blockages we accumulate along our journey. These blockages are not external obstacles, but internal conditioning that limits the natural flow of our creative energy. The first and most fundamental blockage is mental conditioning. From the moment we're born, we're programmed with limiting beliefs about ourselves and how the world works. Life is hard. Success is for a few. You have to struggle to get what you want. These aren't absolute truths. They are programs installed in our subconscious that run automatically without us realizing it. These limiting beliefs act like filters that distort our perception of reality. We don't see the world as it is, but as we've been conditioned to see it. And the most powerful part, we tend to find evidence that confirms our beliefs, creating a self-reinforcing cycle that perpetuates our limitations. The second major blockage comes from unprocessed emotional burdens. Every painful experience, every trauma, every disappointment that hasn't been fully integrated leaves a mark in our energetic field. These stagnant energies create repetitive patterns in our lives, attracting similar situations until we learn the lesson and release the emotional charge. That's why many people feel stuck in cycles, facing the same problems over and over in different contexts. It's not bad luck or fate. It's blocked energy-seeking resolution. Until you consciously release these burdens, they will continue to influence your reality, regardless of your conscious intentions. The third blockage is energy dispersion. We live in an age of constant stimuli and fragmented attention. The average mind jumps from one thought to another every few seconds, rarely staying focused in a single direction long enough to produce meaningful results. This dispersion weakens your power of manifestation. It's like trying to heat water with a magnifying glass and sunlight, but constantly moving it. The energy never concentrates enough to produce the desired effect. Effective manifestation requires sustained focus, something that's become increasingly rare in our hyper-connected society. The ancient Hermetic texts called these blockages collectively the veil of Isis, the illusion that hides the truth about our unlimited power. The good news is that just as these blockages were created, they can also be dissolved through awareness and consistent practice. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This quote from Nikola Tesla echoes the teachings of Thoth, showing how ancient wisdom and modern science converge on the same fundamental understanding. Everything in the universe is vibration. Every thought, every emotion, every physical object has a specific vibrational frequency. It's no coincidence we use expressions like "we're on the same wavelength" or "this doesn't resonate with me." Intuitively, we recognize the vibrational nature of reality. Quantum physics confirms this view through experiments like the double-slit experiment, which demonstrates that subatomic particles exist as waves of probability until they are observed. The act of observation, consciousness, collapses these waves into defined particles. In other words, physical reality responds to the consciousness of the observer. This principle was demonstrated in water experiments by Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto, who photographed water crystals exposed to different words, music, and intentions. Water exposed to positive words and harmonious music formed symmetrical and beautiful crystals, while water exposed to negativity formed chaotic and distorted structures. Considering that our bodies are composed of approximately 70% water, imagine the impact our thoughts and emotions have on our own biology. The ancient Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of human energy. To them, the human being was made up of several bodies or energetic aspects. The ka was the life force that animates the physical body, similar to the concept of chi or prana in other traditions. The ba represented the individual soul, the personality and unique identity. The akh was the divine and immortal aspect, the spark of pure consciousness that transcends time and space. When these three aspects were in harmony, the human being could access the sekhem, the divine power of manifestation. This wasn't an abstract concept, but an experiential reality that initiates cultivated through specific practices in the mystery temples. This knowledge was passed down only in temples like Karnak and Abydos, where initiates underwent a rigorous process of purification and elevation of consciousness. After years of preparation, they were introduced to Heka, the sacred science of divine magic, which was nothing more than the precise knowledge of how to direct energy to manifest realities. The Hermetic method of manifestation. What sets the Hermetic method of manifestation apart from other approaches is its precision and foundation in universal principles. It's not a technique based on beliefs or superstitions, but a systematic process grounded in the laws that govern energy and consciousness. This method can be broken down into three fundamental steps. Conscious intention. Manifestation begins with a clear and defined intention. It's not enough to have a vague desire. You need to know exactly what you want to manifest. This clarity directs your energy toward a specific target, instead of scattering it in multiple directions. The intention should be stated in the present tense, as if it's already reality. Instead of saying, "I want to be prosperous," affirm, "I am prosperous." This isn't just a language trick, but a way to align your consciousness with the reality you want to create. Even more important, the intention must be infused with emotional certainty. It's the emotion that energizes the thought and transforms it into a magnetic field capable of attracting corresponding circumstances. When you combine clear thinking with intense emotion, you create a powerful vibrational field the universe can't ignore. In the temples of Luxor, initiates practiced a technique called Neta Kerp, which literally means commanding the gods. This wasn't about controlling external entities, but about accessing and directing the divine forces within oneself. The process began with ritual purification, followed by specific breathing techniques that altered the state of consciousness, and culminated with the declaration of intention, accompanied by precise gestures, mudras, that amplified the energy. Creative visualization. Once the intention is set, the next step is to create a vivid mental image of the desired outcome. Visualization isn't just a mental exercise, it's a powerful tool for programming the subconscious and aligning your energy field with the reality you want to manifest. The key to effective visualization is engaging all the senses. Don't just see what you want, hear it, feel it, smell it, and taste it in your imagination. The more sensory your visualization, the more real it becomes to your subconscious, and the stronger its power of attraction. Another crucial aspect is consistency. An occasional visualization has little impact, but when practiced daily with focus and emotional intensity, it creates new neural pathways in your brain and vibrational patterns in your energy field that over time manifest in the physical plane. The hieroglyphs on the walls of Egyptian temples were not mere decoration. Many of them were visual instructions for this visualization process. Symbols like the Ankh, symbol of life, the Jed, stability, and the Was, power, were used as focal points during meditation, each activating specific qualities in the practitioner's consciousness. Aligned action. The third component of the Hermetic method is aligned action. Many modern approaches to manifestation neglect this crucial aspect, focusing only on thought and emotion. But Hermeticism teaches that thought, emotion, and action must be in perfect harmony for manifestation to be complete. Aligned action doesn't mean desperate effort or constant struggle. On the contrary, it's about moving through the physical world in a way that reflects the reality you've already created in your mind. It's acting as if what you desire is already real, making decisions and adopting behaviors consistent with that reality. When your action conflicts with your intention, you create resistance and block the natural flow of manifestation. For example, if you affirm that you are prosperous but continue to act from a scarcity mindset, hoarding excessively, rejecting opportunities out of fear, or constantly focusing on lack, your actions contradict your intention and neutralize your power. In ancient Egypt, this principle was known as Ma'at, truth, justice, and cosmic harmony. To live in Ma'at meant fully aligning thoughts, words, and actions with divine order. Pharaohs were considered living manifestations of Horus precisely because they had mastered this triple harmony, allowing them to act as direct channels for divine power. The alchemy of consciousness. True alchemy was never about literally turning lead into gold. That was just a symbol for a much deeper process: the transformation of human consciousness into divine consciousness. The metals represented states of consciousness, and gold symbolized the state of enlightenment and mastery. This transformation process follows 4 well-defined stages, known as the great work of alchemy. Nigredo, the black work. The first stage is the confrontation with the shadow, those aspects of ourselves that we repress, deny, or reject. It's a period of psychological and spiritual discomfort, often experienced as a dark night of the soul. During Nigredo, we face our deepest fears, unresolved traumas, and unconscious patterns that sabotage our manifestation. This process isn't pleasant, but it's absolutely necessary. Just like a surgeon must expose an infected wound before healing it, we must bring our shadow into the light of consciousness before we can transform it. In the Egyptian mysteries, this phase was symbolized by the journey of Osiris through the underworld, a period of symbolic death and the dissolution of the previous identity. Initiates underwent rituals that simulated death, staying in dark chambers representing the womb of the goddess Nut, from which they would be reborn transformed. Albedo, the white work. After the dissolution of Nigredo, comes the purification of Albedo. In this stage, we begin to cleanse dense energies and raise our vibration. It's a time of growing clarity, where illusions fade and we start to see reality with new eyes. Albedo is characterized by purification practices on all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. On the physical level, it may involve changes in diet, exercise, and detox practices. On the emotional level, we work to release resentment, hurt, and other stagnant emotions. On the mental level, we identify and transform limiting beliefs. And on the spiritual level, we cultivate qualities like compassion, gratitude, and presence. In Egyptian temples, this phase was represented by purification rituals, with water and incense, and by wearing white robes symbolizing newfound purity. Initiates learned specific breathing and visualization techniques to raise their vibrational frequency and align with more refined energies. Citrinitas, the yellow work. The third stage is the awakening of inner wisdom and deep understanding. After the purification of Albedo, we begin to access higher levels of consciousness and intuition. It's a time of gradual enlightenment, where profound insights arise naturally. During Citrinitas, we develop the ability to perceive the hidden connections between all things. We begin to recognize the underlying patterns of reality and understand the universal laws not just intellectually, but through direct experience. Our intuition becomes sharper, guiding us with precision through life's challenges. This phase was symbolized by the rising of the sun after the dark night, the light of higher consciousness emerging from the darkness of ignorance. In the temples, initiates who reached this stage received more advanced teachings on cosmic mysteries and began developing abilities like clairvoyance, telepathy, and energy healing, not as supernatural powers, but as natural expressions of an expanded consciousness. Rubedo, the red work. The final stage is the complete integration and manifestation of divine power in the material world. In Rubedo, there is no longer separation between the human and the divine. They merge into perfect unity. It's the state of full realization, where we manifest our true nature in every aspect of life. Rubedo is characterized by a deep sense of purpose and alignment with universal flow. Synchronicities become common, and manifestation happens with ease and grace. It's not that challenges disappear, but our relationship with them fundamentally changes. We see each obstacle as an opportunity for greater growth and creative expression. In the Egyptian mysteries, this phase was represented by the resurrection of Osiris as Lord of both worlds, able to exist simultaneously in the divine and human realms. Initiates who reached this stage were known as Shemsu Heru, followers of Horus, and often took on roles of spiritual leadership, passing the knowledge to future generations. This alchemical process isn't just symbolic. It's a real energetic transformation that happens when we consciously work with our energy. Each stage corresponds to measurable changes in our vibrational frequency, neural patterns, and even genetic expression. The power of the word and the language of creation. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This biblical passage echoes a universal principle found in nearly every spiritual tradition: the creative power of the word. Words are not just arbitrary symbols for communication. They are carriers of energy and intention. Every word you speak carries a specific vibrational frequency that influences both your own energetic field and the environment around you. Egyptian hieroglyphs weren't just pictorial representations, they were considered meduneta, or divine words. Each symbol contained the energetic essence of what it represented. When a priest or initiate spoke these words in an elevated state of consciousness, they weren't just expressing an idea. They were literally invoking the energy of what the symbol represented. The famous mantra, abracadabra, now linked with entertainment magic, comes from the Aramaic avra kedabra, meaning, "I create as I speak." This wasn't a trivial phrase, but a profound declaration of the creative power of conscious speech. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself and others. Your words create your reality. When you say, "I can't," "That's impossible," or "I'll never make it," you're literally programming your energetic field to manifest those limitations. Instead, use powerful affirmations that align your energy with what you want to create. Daily practice. Monitor your internal and external dialogue for an entire day. Notice how often you use words of limitation, doubt, or negativity. Then, consciously replace those expressions with ones that affirm your power and potential. For example, instead of "I can't," say "I'm learning to." Instead of "That's impossible," say "I'm finding creative ways to." Instead of "I'm afraid," say "I'm preparing for." This isn't just a shallow positive thinking technique. It's a conscious reprogramming of your vibrational field. Over time, these new expressions create new neural pathways in your brain and new energetic patterns in your field, making it easier to manifest what you desire. In the temples of Edfu, dedicated to the god Horus, there were special chambers called Per Ankh, houses of life, where priests practiced the sacred art of Hekau, or words of power. These weren't simple spells, but precise sound formulas that, when spoken with the correct vibration and consciousness, literally reorganized the energetic matrix of reality. One example of this is the famous Book of Coming Forth by Day, often mistakenly called the Book of the Dead. This text contained precise instructions on how to navigate the afterlife realms, but its deeper purpose was to teach how to consciously manifest both in this life and beyond. Statements like, "I am Osiris," or "I am Ra," weren't declarations of identity, but consciousness technologies that allowed the initiate to merge with those divine aspects and manifest from that elevated state. You can apply this same principle through conscious affirmations. It's not about mechanically repeating positive phrases, but about feeling the truth of those affirmations in every cell of your being. When you declare, "I am abundant," or "I am powerful," with full emotional conviction, you're not just describing a state, you're invoking it into existence. We now arrive at the climax of our journey, the revelation that transforms all techniques and practices from mere tools into natural expressions of who you truly are. The ultimate key to manifesting like the ancient gods is understanding your true identity. You are not just a human being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are a divine being, having a temporary human experience. This isn't poetic or metaphorical. It's the literal reality of your existence. The consciousness that's perceiving these words isn't a product of your brain. It's the same universal consciousness that expresses itself through all forms of life, only temporarily individualized in your particular experience. The Know Thyself inscribed in the Temple of Delphi and taught by Thoth in the Egyptian mysteries pointed to this fundamental truth. It wasn't an invitation to superficial psychological analysis, but a call to direct recognition of your divine nature. When you recognize and embody this truth, you transcend the limitations of ordinary human consciousness and access the same creative power the ancient gods used to manifest entire worlds. It's not something you need to develop or acquire. It's something you need to remember, because it has always been within you. In the temples of Abydos, initiates went through a ritual called osirification, where they symbolically died to their limited identity and were reborn as Osiris, the resurrected god. This wasn't just a symbolic ritual, but a precise technology to reconfigure the initiate's consciousness, allowing them to access their true divine self. The inscriptions on the walls of this temple contain what Egyptologists call the Abydos formula, a specific sequence of symbols that, when contemplated in the correct order, activate dormant codes in the DNA and awaken the memory of divine origin. This process wasn't mystical. It was scientific, based on a deep understanding of how consciousness interacts with matter. The ancient Hermetic texts state, "As above, so below." This means you are a microcosm of the macrocosm, an individualized expression of divine consciousness. When you align with this truth, your energy expands and your power to manifest increases exponentially. This understanding isn't just intellectual, it's a direct experience of your own divinity. It's the moment you realize that you're not separate from the universe, but an expression of it. It's when you understand that you don't need to ask some external power to manifest your desires, because you are that power. Imagine what your life would be like if you could access your energy at its highest expression. If each day you woke up with a sense of clarity and purpose, knowing you have the power to shape your reality. This isn't some unreachable ideal. It's a natural state we can all access when we learn to work with our energy instead of against it. You were chosen to receive this knowledge because you're ready to awaken your inner divine power. The energy flowing through you is the same energy that creates galaxies and moves planets. It's the same force the ancients called the divine breath, the creative essence of the universe. When you align with this force, you become a channel for divine power. Your intentions manifest effortlessly, your blockages dissolve, and your life flows in harmony with the universe. This is the state of grace mystics from every tradition have sought, and now it's within your reach. Remember, you didn't find this knowledge by accident. You were guided here because the time has come to awaken your divine power and manifest like the ancient gods. The choice is now yours. Will you keep living below your potential, or will you claim your divine right to create the reality you desire? The power is in your hands. Use it with wisdom, with love, and with the awareness that you are, truly, a living expression of the divine in this world. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. This is your awakening. Very few are chosen to see this. You are one of them. Activate your divine power and manifest like the ancient gods. The universe is waiting for your command.